A Kenwood TM-741 without S-meter for the 2-meter band. What is it all about? Let's find out. Welcome to TRX Bench. Yeah, and what we can find here is a radio which is receiving on both bands, so all or two signal generators are connected to the radio. So when I open here our volume for 2 meter, then you hear it is receiving just fine. And now I turn it down and I turn up here my 70 centimeter, and you see it is working fine as well, but we have our S-meter with 70 centimeter, and when I now switch off here my generator for 70 centimeter, you see we lose our signal and we hear the static, and we still have our signal here on 2 meter, and of course I can switch off my generator here as well, and you hear nothing. I can switch it back on, and you see our receiver is working just fine, and I have pre-checked it, so the receiver is in its tolerances, so nothing to complain with the receiver. It is simply our not working S-meter. So let's see what we can do, so what's really going on, because basically it is really a simple circuit which is behind it. So well, let's see what we can do. Yeah, and what we can see here is a part of our 2-meter receiver transmitter module. So this radio has 3 modules inside for 2 meter, 70 centimeter, and our SHF module. So 3 modules here inside, and this is the second half of our 2 meters, so, and this is the first half. But anyway, so the interesting part is down here. So let me zoom in that you can better see it here. And yeah, we have here maybe I can do it this one. And what you can see here, our IC5 is our FM IF stage, and well, simply there is a port called SM, which stands for S-meter, and this is finally the output, and this is nothing else than a DC voltage, which is dependent on the signal, the input signal, the receiver signal. As stronger the signal is, as higher is our DC, which comes out pin 11. And well, it might be that we have a problem here on this line, so maybe that we are losing the signal towards our main board or such. So that is what we need to check out, and then we may get a better idea of what's really going on. Alright, and here's our radio already open, and you see here are the different modules, 2 meter, 70 centimeter, and here our 1.2 gigahertz SHF module. So that is what we have here, and then here this part is our main board, and you may remember a couple of months ago, I'm not quite sure, we had already a radio, a 741 in, which was not able to fire up, and we had some trouble with leaking battery, so the reset was not given to the MCU, and the radio didn't fire it up. So this is the same, not the same radio, it is the same series. It is a 741, and as I said, we do not get here our S-meter indication. Also, it is working just fine. So, as I said, maybe that here in our 2-meter module is something wrong, but we are easily able to check it out, because let me see if I can get off here the little speaker. Yeah, and what you can see, so we have here our connector, which is the port where we get here our 2-meter module connected here to our main circuit or main board or whatever. And we have all the signals here. Let me see if we can lift it a little bit. And we have here all the ports or the pins where our 2-meter module is connected here to the main board, and we see it of course down there. Let me see. So you barely see down here. So this is a connector to our 70 centimeter module, and then of course we have the third connector as well. So therefore we are able to pick here our signals, and that is a nice first step. So we do not really need to open up this module until we know if a signal, so the DC voltage, is present here on our connector or not. Yeah, and this is a schematic here from our main board with our main processor, the MCU, and all the parts which are really on the main board. And you see here a part from our display board, and this is here the connection between main board and display board. And you see here on this side the connectors which comes from our modules. So 144 megahertz, 430 megahertz, and 1.2 gigahertz module. And let us figure out where we get our DC voltage from our FM-IF. Yeah, and I've now here the important part on our computer, and let me zoom in. And so this CN101 and CN102, so this both connectors are the connectors we have seen already here, this both. And you may remember from the last video, these are really bad copies, and it is really difficult to read, but what can we do? So we need to get it out of here, and I was able to figure it out a little bit better here on our printed version. So I already know where it is, and it is simply down there. So there we can read SMA, which stands for S meter A module, and the A module is here our 2 meter module, so it is a bit easier for us to figure out where it is. And we see it is a connector CN102. So let's go down here to our radio, and let's see that we find this pin. Okay, so first of all, it might help a little bit if we click here our display unit out of the radio. So that is the first step, but I think we are lucky. We can read it already down there. I think you can see it. So that is really our CN102, and then the left side is then of course, but I can't read it but I'm quite sure that this then of course is a CN101, even if I cannot read or find here where it is printed on, but quite sure that this here is our CN102, and we have here an indication. I guess that means pin 1. Yeah, thank you very much. So we can simply count as it is pin, what is it? Pin 10. Pin 10 where we should find it, and pin 10 if we go backwards, so that is 12, 11, 10. So that should this pin. Yeah, so let us simply read the voltage down there, and then we see if our DC voltage is there or not. Okay, so this way we have both in view, and when I go now down here to pin 10, it was 10, right? So when I go down to pin 10 here, alright, so I can read 4 volt over there, so that is very promising. So let me now change my input signal. Let me see how I can range it here around the camera. So this is our test point, and now I'm going here to the generator and I'm reducing the signal level, and I'm make it a little bit louder so you can hear already the noise in the background as clear indication that the signal is going down, is getting weaker, and you can see it on the DC voltage. So if I increase the signal level, you hear that the signal to noise is getting much better, and I'm now here at what is it here? Let me check. I put it on minus 100 dBm, and you see we have 4 point. Let me turn it down here, the volume, and you see this is our meter, S-meter DC voltage, which is proportional to the signal level. So what we can say so far, it is working just fine without any problems. But maybe it is a good idea to simply check the same on 70 centimeter. So let me simply put in here, where is it? Okay, let me see. I turn it, you see already here's the signal level, and now we hear the tone from our 70 centimeter band, and you see of course here the S meter, while you see nothing here. I am interested if we have reading, if I go to the same test point, because it is as well here on the second connector. On there it is, and that is very nice. So I show you, I'm here on the same test point on the 70 centimeter, like we have tested it before on the 2 meter band. Let me go up here to you know, our meter, and you see with minus 100 dBm, so both receivers are getting the same signal, and you see that really both modules are putting out 4 point something volt DC, which is, as I already said, proportional to the signal, to the incoming signal, and that is on both test points absolutely identical, and that means that there is nothing wrong with our modules, so there must be a problem here on our board. So I know that these signals are simply connected to the MCU, and the MCU is, as we already said and have seen it in the other video, is this here. So this is our IC1, and yeah, that is our microprocessor, which is really operating the radio. And yeah, now we need to see if the signals from this or this connector here, or the upper one, is really getting to our MCU, and then we know if there is maybe an interruption or such here on our main board. Okay, and here on our schematic we see that there is another connector which is connecting the one mainboard PCB with the second mainboard PCB, and on this connector we find of course as well our signal meter for port A and B, which is in our case our 2 meter and 70 centimeter module. And let us simply check if we have still our signals here on this connector. Yeah, and the connector what we are dealing with right now is the CN9 and the CN8, and yeah, that is the interconnection between the both parts of our mainboard. So we have here the upstanding one, and then here the down one, and this both mainboard portions are interconnected here with this ribbon cable, and we have here our CN9 and down here our CN8, and let us simply check if we have our both 4 point something volt DC here at the down one of our what is it, the CN8. So let's check what's going on down there. Okay, so I flipped it over, and our connector, you see here the ribbon cable, what we have seen before, and our connector is simply here, this guy. And yeah, I've already checked which pins we have to test, so that it does not take too long. So let me see if we can get here both into view. So alright, so what we can see already or still is our meter. And let me go down here to the pin. This one here is for 2 meter, and you see, can you see it? Yeah, I hope yes. So this is here the pin for 2 meter, and you see our 4.05 volt DC. And now when I go over here to our 70 centimeter pin, which is it this one? Let me double check. So I thought I already have it. Is it this one, or is it this one here? Yeah, here it is. So you see, here is our 70 centimeter, and once again, if I move over to this pin here, so this is our 2 meter. Once again, here is our, there it is, that is our 70 centimeter pin. So you see, we have the signal here present at this connector, which is now really down on our MCU board. And yeah, finally we should really check now the signal at our MCU. Yeah, and here we have our MCU, and yeah, it is, we all know, a very bad copy, and it took some time to figure out the printing. It is horrible, but I by now know that we have here on pin 77, I believe, there we have our 70 centimeter, and then here this is our 2 meter input, I believe 74. So yeah, horrible if you only have a copy like this, but anyways, better than nothing. So, and there is nothing in between anymore, so it should be simply a junction between our CN8 connector, which is down here. So that is our connector, and we have here our 2 meter, and where is it? And this here is our 70 centimeter, which is simply going over to our MCU. So there is nothing in between. It is simply nothing else than a piece of wire, if you like. And thus we should be able to test here our 4 point something volt DC. Okay, and that is really a bit of a challenge. So let me see if I can get it here a bit better into view. And that is, it's really a bit difficult. So I need to go down here to the MCU pins, and you see it is really nearly impossible to do it here through the camera. So I really need to do it off camera, because we can simply short out the pins here, and that is definitely no good idea. So please let me check out what we can read finally here at our MCU. Okay. Yeah, and let me assure you, I have tested it right now. So for 70 centimeter I can read here at pin 4 counted here from this side. I can read my 4.4 volt, 4.0 something volt, but I'm not able to pick the 4 something volt DC from the 2 meter module. So that means somehow the interconnection between here our pin on the MCU to our connector CN8 is somewhat interrupted, and yeah, so and you may remember that we had with the other radio, which won't fire up, we had here a leaking lithium battery, and for me it looks like that this lithium battery is also leaking, and maybe it has already eaten some traces here on the board. I'm not sure if you can see it, but for me it looks like that we really have down there some signs of leaking battery, and that would explain the problem. So maybe we really have already something. It all looks a little bit like a leaking battery, and that down there seems to be the that is really a worse. Yeah, I think we first of all we check the lithium battery, and then we take it out to see how it looks like underneath. Yeah, but as we said, let us first check if this battery is dead or not. And this is, yeah, so it is 3.2, and yeah, a new one would minimum 3.3. I mean, it is not completely dead, but it looks like that it is really leaking, and that is really funny. So, you know, that is oh, what is that? I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think I've seen the bar. Yeah, there, you can see it. It is coming up here a little bit when I touch the board, which could really be the case that we have really some you cannot see it. Unbelievable. I'm sorry. So I was just touching here the board, and have seen that the bar here came up a little bit, but randomly, so nothing. Now you've seen it a little bit, so that is somewhat funny, but yeah. So anyways, let me simply take out here the lithium battery, that we can see here a little bit more the situation on the board, and then we can decide how to go ahead. And of course, this is the right job here for our desoldering gun. So let me go down and sack the solder away, and then we can take it off. Okay, so let's see if we can take it out here. And yes, we can. So let's see. Funny enough, I am not sure. So you cannot really see anything here on our battery. So that looks not too bad. Finally, so I am a little bit I'm a little bit confused what this is really, or what really has happening. But yeah, let me reposition the camera a little bit better, that we can see it even more in detail. Yeah, and that is very obvious. So we definitely have here signs of corrosion. So even here on the crystal we have signs of corrosion, and down there you can clearly see that we have corrosion. And here we have some dirt now here at our pointer. So you really see that yeah, something was leaking, and maybe that this battery has already been replaced earlier. I don't know, because you know, it is you cannot see that that this battery was leaking, and we had 3.29 volt or so, which shows that this battery is not completely dead, but we have corrosion. So it may be that once in a time this battery has been replaced, but the person who did this job did not clean the board and left the acid here on the PCB, and that of course means that the acid was able to destroy the board, the traces any further, and that might be the reason why we do not have the S-meter any longer, because maybe the trace has been eaten away by the acid, because this is really obvious. And I think I will take out the crystal as well to really see what's down on the board, and maybe if we are lucky we can clean it. But if we are unlucky, then we have already a destroyed board, and then you know, then it really gets difficult. Okay, so I have taken off the crystal, and now let's see what we can find on the board. And see what I see. So that is really horrible. So it was the right feeling. So we have a little bit problem here with the illumination, as yeah, I have no free access. I have still here the chassis over the board, so it is a little bit difficult here with the microscope to have the right light. But anyways, what we really see is that there is yeah, residue from maybe an earlier battery still on the board, and we all know that that is acid, which is really eating the traces. And I'm not sure if this is here an interruption, or I don't know what's really going on up there. But you see here under the crystal, it does not really looks pretty nice. So that is definitely our problem. And yeah, first I simply try to clean the board here from the residue, and maybe if you are really lucky, that by its own might be good, because first of all the lecture gets eaten away, and maybe that, you know, the residue is making contact between the traces, because we have here some open copper on the surface. So maybe that when we clean it, we may be lucky, and we have then yeah, maybe you know, this this connection which might be here on the surface simply by the residue here, we may get that under control, and I hope that there is not an additional trace which is completely destroyed. I don't know what that is down there. No, it was only residue. Okay, so let me clean it away, and then let's see what the result is. Yeah, and I've gotten here the light a little bit better, and you see I'm now trying here to clean it with alcohol, and then of course once again we have to inspect the board. You remember, this is our little reset transistor, so you may remember from our last repair, where we also had a leaking battery, which was simply stopping the reset transistor to get the reset pulse to the MCU. And when we cleaned it, you may remember, then after that all was just fine, and the radio then was firing up once again. Okay, so let me go ahead here with the cleaning, and then we see what we have. Yeah, and okay, this picture might be interesting, because you may see this here, and of course this here. So there we definitely have signs where the acid has already eaten away. Yeah, I'm not sure, is it already our trace, or is it still maybe only the solder stop material which is here over our traces. So I need to figure out what it is, but you see what has already happened, and yeah, that is no fun, but it shows that it is so important to early enough change your batteries, because you see it, you destroy simply your radio. Yeah, and here as well, you see it down here, and we need to make sure if it is a damage, or is it only, I mean, finally it is a damage, but I'm more interested in the question, is it still making continuity, or is it really completely dead, so that we have no continuity any longer. So that is really interesting to know. Yeah, and I've tried to clean it with the glass fiber pen as good as possible, but you see, yeah, this all is more or less okay. So we still have our copper underneath, so I mean that is more or less fine, but yeah, this trace here is I am unhappy, really unhappy with this here. So I need to test, is it still working, or is it interrupted? No fun. Yeah, and sure enough, we have two interruptions here. So this one, if we go down here and there, you hear no continuity anymore. So this is eaten away, and yeah, let's see what we have here. Can you see it? Yeah. Okay, let's see what we have here. Come on. No. So, for instance, here it is working, and here it is not. Definitely not. So, yeah, minimum we have two interruptions by acid eaten away our traces. Hopeless. Okay, so now our mainboard is completely out of the chassis, and now let's see if we can do any better here to our board. To I don't know. It is a shame, really. Okay, now we have a much better view, and we can really work here on our mainboard. And yeah, let me show it to you. Okay, so it is much better, and the damage we have is this trace here, right, and this trace. And yeah, maybe that this trace here is already our connection from our 2 meter band, as it is here really going over to the position which could be, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I believe 7 was the one which is delivering our 2 meter signal. But yeah, let me double check. Okay, so what I've done here, I've simply soldered a wire underneath the board to the point where our 2 meter signal came or is coming to the CN8 connector, right? So where we tested our DC before, and now it is very simple. I just connect here my meter clamp to the wire. Okay, and now I can test, is it this guy here? No, not really. And our second destroyed is this one here. And have a look, this guy is our 2-meter signal, and you see, completely destroyed. So we need to fix it, otherwise we cannot get our S-meter information back to the display board. Yeah, and I'm really trying to establish here a good new junction, and I've already put here a little wire over it. So let's say from here to there we have now continuity, but we should not have continuity to this trace, and that seems to be good, so no problem. So let me check if this wire here is still good. Yeah, even we have here a little mark, but that seems not to be a problem. This is fine as well, and this is fine, and no short between our new bridge here and this trace, so that is fine. And we have rebuilt this one, and now we still need to rebuild this one here, and then hopefully it is done, and we can then remount our chassis and see if our radio is working. And I have already flux here on it, and now I try to tin it here a little bit, because that is of course needed to establish our new bridge. And you see that it is really delicate, as we do not have a lot of so we have really thin traces. That is what I wanted to say. And as you see, it is not really fun, but I hope that this will be fine enough to get our wire over it for rebuilding our connection. Okay, and this connection has been rebuilt as well. When we look here at the board directly, you barely see where our new junctions are, so maybe there you can see how tiny it really is. Funny enough. Okay, so everything done, and of course we can finally check if we have continuity here. So that is all fine, and of course but this has been tested before, so all is fine. That means all is re-established, and well, now I put back in here our crystal, and then let's get it together, and hopefully it will work again. And I have done my very best to really get all the asset here from the board, and I cannot finally say if here our through connections are good, but I hope. And let's put the crystal back in, and then I put it back into the chassis that we can do our test. Yeah, quartz or crystal is back in, and of course it looks like that it could make here some ground connection, but under our crystal we have a insulating material, so that is all fine, so no problem. Now we go ahead. Okay, so our mainboard is here back together in the chassis, and we can bring it back here to our radio modules, and then finally, of course, I have to put in a new lithium battery, but we really can do that when we have tested all together here, because I can fit it here from the front, so that is no problem. First of all, it is of course really important if we were able to fix here our problem. And our radio finally is back together, and yeah, let me zoom in. So what do you see? We have back here our bars, and here 2 meter and 70 centimeters. So we have both signals available, and we have our signal, our S meter back. But let me first of all switch off our 70 centimeter generator just to double check, and you see, yeah, back in. And now let's do exactly the same here with our 2 meter, and yes, let's get it back, and you see it is working. So all our efforts were really yeah, it was the right way finally, and that makes me kind of happy, as you know, if something is destroyed like this board, it is always not really sure that you can fix it, but you have seen the efforts we have put into it. Were it finally worth to do it, and that's it. So now I can put all the housing back to the radio, and of course I have to fit in a new battery, which I already have here, brand new lithium cell I have here, and I will put it in, but I do it off camera, as it is really nothing exciting anymore. All the exciting stuff has been done, and yeah, let me stop the video here, because job is done, and I hope you have got an impression how to handle such problems. And well, if you like the video, please give me a big thumb up, and yeah, nice week to all of you, and catch you next time. Bye.